Hi everyone, Lion Recaps here. Today we're going to explain Backstreet Rookie Season 1. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Backstreet Rookie begins when Dae-hun opens a drain and saves a trapped cat. He runs off just like Sat-Bayul does as well. As they pass one another, they catch each other's glances. On the rooftop, a girls' gang attacks Sat-Bayul. She thwarts their attacks and flees down to the bus station, where she encounters Dae-hun in a restaurant. A drunk Dae-hun stumbles home and bumps into Sat-Bayul, who seduces him into purchasing cigarettes. Instead, he buys them candy and advises them to quit smoking. Sat-Bayul runs over to kiss him. 3 years later, Dae-hun is now working in a convenience store. When his father, Yong-pil, comes, he laments the family's financial situation and collapses to the ground while gripping his chest. When he's in the hospital, his dyspepsia is detected. To keep his sanity, Dae-hun chooses to recruit a part-timer. Meanwhile, he meets Sat-Bayul. He strains to stay awake while interviewing his appealing candidate. Dae-hun awoke from a restful sleep to see a convenience store full of people. He notices Sat-Bayul serving clients pleasantly and effectively behind the counter. Things go wrong between the convenience store manager and the part-timer when Dae-hun assumes that Sat-Bayul has stolen money and items from the convenience store. When he learned that his mother had borrowed money from the cash register while Sat-Bayul was just sorting the cigarette packs, he was even more angry when Dae-hun offered the pitiful excuse that she should have informed him. Sat-Bayul, feeling betrayed, picks up Bayul from the karaoke bar. Having a hard time finding a part-time job, she begins selling hangover cures from a food cart, bemoaning her luck. To catch up on things, Dae-hun's friend Dal-sik arrives at the convenience store. As a way to make up to Sat-Bayul, Dae-hun organizes the stock cupboard. The next day, he invites his ex-girlfriend Yeon-ju out for lunch, but she invites him to the hotel instead. Upon arriving, he finds that it's a 24-hour gym hotel. As he cycles, Dal-sik watches Sat-Bayul's friends partying and drinking outside while she invites them over. After finding out, Dae-hun immediately heads back to the convenience store. She stands up and beams at him, looking deep into his eyes as he confronts her. Sat-Bayul dozes off on Dae-hun's arm as he starts to scold her. Dae-hun collapses after her two friends successfully pressure him into drinking with them. Yeon-ju was watching from afar. Sat-Bayul drags her boss onto the sofa. Staring at him, she admits that she chose to work in the store so that she could see him every day. Only thing is, he calls her Yeon-ju in his sleep, which doesn't sit well with her, forcing her to hit him in the face in fury. In the middle of the night, Yeon-ju deletes a message, and Dae-hun wonders what she sent originally, that why she invites him for dinner, while Sat-Bayul beats the teddy up and reminisces about what Dae-hun says last night. Dae-hun recalls the previous night when Sat-Bayul's companions commented how her prior kiss was her first and only. Meanwhile, Dae-hun faces issues with the police after selling cigarettes to a minor. Despite specifically asking for identification, the officer requests to watch the film, but he cannot recall the date. This motivates Dae-hun to go through the security footage one day at a time. Sat-Bayul eventually instructs him to go home while his friend Dal-sik comes to take over the investigation. Midway through leaving, Yeon-ju calls Dae-hun to get him to fix her car. He observes the student who bought cigarettes and runs into the store to confront him as he comes and helps escort the car in the recovery truck. But he will not give up anything. Soon after, Sat-Bayul calls and distracts him, informing Dae-hun that he's needed back at the store. Sat-Bayul confronts the minor and successfully obtains the information they want when he returns. Dae-hun sees a minor scrape on her hand while solving the problem and repairs to it. Dae-hun and Sat-Bayul start dancing with the former watching the latter on CCTV footage as he dances. Things look good going forward. Dae-hun and Sat-Bayul daydream about dancing. Fortunately, as Sat-Bayul awakes, a superstar steps into the convenience store, Sky Castle. He even goes so far as to prepare his own autographed picture for her. Dae-hun drowns his sorrows in beer after noticing Yeon-ju at the office growing closer to Sung-jun and hesitantly asks Sat-Bayul for the name of the horoscope app so he may download it himself and see what it says about Yeonju. Dae-hun feels embarrassed about her proximity to director Cho as they sit together and dine in a restaurant. It turns out they were once great friends, and his jealousy was unfounded. They begin dining together in the same restaurant where Satbayul is eating with her friends. Unfortunately, Yeonju's rush past the bully leads her to have troubles in the toilet. Luckily, Satbayul goes into the bathrooms at the same time and accidentally saves her by beating down the bullies. Just then, Dae-hun comes to his girlfriend's aid, mistakenly pushing Satbayul out of the washroom stall so Yeonju may use it. Recognizing Dae-hun, the three are perplexed at the scenario, as Yeonju notices that her boyfriend's part-timer is quite attractive. Dae-hun tells Satbayul he's disappointed in her and walks away. Yeonju is scolding Dae-hun outside over how Satbayul looked at him. Satbayul drowns her sorrows in alcohol and, while drunk, meets Ji-wook, whom she knows as a puppy. Her friends help her home after she touches his face. Since Dae-hun believes Satbayul is a thug, he starts advertising for part-time jobs. Meanwhile, a speech by Yeonju at GS25 Corporate confirms that Ji-wook will be their corporate sponsor. Ji-wook's earlier message about being involved in promotions brings Satbayul into the office, and sparks fly immediately. Yeonju and Satbayul argue once more at the team dinner, and their altercation develops into a verbal duel. Meanwhile, the three youths who stole the stuff appear with apologetic letters just before Satbayul is fired. Here he discovers the real story behind what happened to Satbayul, whose real identity is Kim Bo-sung. Having learned more about Satbayul's personality from her friends, Dae-hun leaves to pick up Yeonju and asks her truth. Walking side by side, Yeonju's mother drives up as she wraps her arms around him, causing Dae-hun to hide. Dae-hun, however, gets a call from the police station and hurries over to find Satbayul. She's in trouble after a fight at the store, but he saves her by showing that there was no misbehavior by utilizing CCTV video from the convenience store. He apologizes and asks her to hit him. After hitting him in the face, Satbayul rushes to the convenience store and takes over from Dal-sik, who's frantic to use the restroom. After this, Satbayul's hard work earns her the Best Employee of the Month award, and Dae-hun declares to let her work properly, cutting up the part-time job banner. Dae-hun passes out some flowers from behind the counter, admitting that they're a token of admiration. Yeonju comes and watches them both, joking while Dae-hun offers her a piggyback ride around the store. Satbayul, who scoffs at the assortment of wines on display, is left in charge of the shop by Dae-hun. A little while later, she calls her sister Eun-bayul to check on her. When Yeonju doesn't respond to his texts, Dae-hun also attempts to conceal his unhappiness. Instead, he goes to her house the next morning to attempt to make her feel better. Driving her to work seems to work as well since she stealthily smiles for him, which makes Dae-hun very happy. That's also fortunate because today is the big interview. Certain that Yeonju won't see it because of their picture back at the shop, Dae-hun gets into a furious argument with Satbayul over her famous acquaintance, Ji-wook. But soon after, she gets a call about Eun-bayul and how she didn't arrive at school promptly. Meanwhile, she finds out she's been invited to return for the second half while she's at the auditions and is past the preliminary rounds. When Satbayul learns of it, she follows her, but she stops when they're face-to-face, bringing back unpleasant memories of the time when their guardian overworked her and her sister. Later that evening, Ji-wook comes at the convenience store, and Dae-hun is immediately overcome with emotion. As the company departs for supper, Dal-sik meets the editor in the shop, who advises him to improve his erotica sketching skills. Unfortunately, the interviewer contacts Dae-hun and confirms that the photo of him giving Satbayul a piggyback will be a huge PR smash and will be shown on the company's website. Dae-hun rushes over to Yeonju, anxious to explain himself. When he gets close to her house, he notices Sung-woon giving Yeonju a piggyback and knows how she must have felt with the roles reversed. Satbayul returns to the store, but a masked man follows her and knocks her unconscious with a block of wood. Dae-hun clashes with the rowdy girls who had just struck Satbayul with a wood bar. After regaining consciousness, Satbayul complains to Dae-hun about her sore belly. He summons an ambulance and transports her to the hospital. The doctor diagnoses appendicitis at the emergency department and informs Dae-hun that Sat-Bayul will be prepared for surgery. Dae-hun awakes from a nightmare. Despite his reluctance, Sat-Bayul asks another piggyback ride in his dream. Sat-Bayul is feeling considerably better when he awakes. Dae-hun tries his hardest to explain the problem to Yeon-ju, but despite reading his messages, she doesn't respond. Instead, he goes to her office, but she's chilly towards him and leaves. Dae-hun overhears two workers discussing the piggyback ride image just as she drives away, and he knows that this is what the cause of the drama is about. He decides enough is enough and rushes to the hospital, intending to gently let Sat-Bayul go and prevent her from working at the store. Dae-hun reconsiders his choice after an awkwardly humorous meeting with a random woman in the hospital. Meanwhile, Yeon-ju reconsiders her choice, rejecting Sun-woo's love approaches and telling him that they're just friends. Back at the hospital, Dae-hun's mother bathes Sat-Bayul's hair. Because of Sat-Bayul's past, this act of kindness is pretty alien to her, and she tears up. When Dae-hun's mother tells her best friend disappeared in the past, she admits she used to have one too. In the future, this may become more relevant, but for now, it's left open. Dae-hun nervously delivers numerous cartons of wine that Yeon-ju's mother ordered from the business. When Yeon-ju arrives back, Dae-hun hurriedly departs after the two exchange awkward stares. Yeon-ju's mother abruptly alters her tone as he continues and orders her maid to throw the alcohol right away. It transpires that everything here was a ruse to meet Dae-hun. Yeon-ju tells Sat-Bayul that they're arguing frequently because of her, as she makes her way to the hospital. She begs her to stop working at the convenience shop since it's affecting their relationship. Thankfully, Ji-wook arrives just in time to defuse the situation by acknowledging his close friendship with Sat-Bayul. Eun-Bayul performs in a second audition and advances to the next stage. After that, she checks her messages and discovers Sat-Bayul is in the hospital. But as soon as Gun-bi shows her the picture of the bullies, she makes the decision to go up against them. Fortunately, Sat-Bayul intervenes and rescues the day. Later on, she returns to the hospital and makes her choice and decides to leave the convenience store. As soon as Sat-Bayul leaves the hospital, she informs Dae-hun of her plan to resign from her job. Dae-hun accepts her decision despite her confusion. However, Sat-Bayul faces another problem when it appears that the house she's been staying in has been scammed. The real estate agent stole their prized money, leaving them homeless. According to her woes, Sat-Bayul's sister is persistently pursuing her idle dreams, even using her hard-earned money to pay a guardian who posed as her mother to sign her trainee contract. Dae-hun's mom rescues Sat-Bayul from a bathhouse and lets her live with them in her house. Yeon-ju chose to go with Sung-joon to the first performance, while Dae-hun purchased musical tickets for Phantom of the Opera. Dae-hun purchases an additional set of tickets and joins Yeon-ju in watching. However, Yeon-ju ends the night early due to a headache, making the 1,000-day celebration less pleasant than he had intended. Dae-hun and Sat-Bayul race to catch the real estate agent who presented himself in the area after finally learning about Sat-Bayul's tragedy. He does, however, slyly evade the two's pursuit. Yeon-ju, who's preoccupied with her thoughts, joins Sung-woon for a drink and kisses him while ignoring her boyfriend's call. A raging passion between Gun-bi and Dal-sik is on the horizon. The former appears to be a fan of Dal-sik's sexy webtoon. Seeking hope to find her sister, Sat-Bayul contacts Ji-wook and expresses her concern that Eun-Bayul may be given an unfavorable contract. Her friend, unable to conceal her emotions, consoles her while the sister she's concerned about is forced to perform housework by the older members of the group she's training with. Sat-Bayul receives a call from the main office informing her that she's won an award for her outstanding work. When Sung-joon presented the award for free musical tickets, she discovered that Yeon-ju had seen the first show with Sung-joon, canceling the planned 1,000-day celebration with Dae-hun. Sat-Bayul advises Yeon-ju not to upset Dae-hun by complaining about her acts, which appear to be different from what they previously resolved when she visited her in the hospital. Yeon-ju, troubled by Sat-Bayul's remarks, ponders her careless deed and goes to visit Dae-hun. She eventually goes to his house and is let in by Dae-hun's mother. Dal-sik, unaware that Dae-hun is not returned home, informs him urgently that Yeon-ju is at their house. Recognizing the impending calamity if Yeon-ju learns of Sat-bayul's position, he hurries to their home. Sat-bayul appears from the door just as they're ready to depart. Boon-hee praises Sat-bayul for her work at the convenience store at Dae-hun's house as Sat-bayul is invited to dinner. Midway through serving dinner, Yeon-ju leaves and takes a taxi home, refusing to listen to Dae-hun. Dae-hun's father and Yeon-ju's mother have a meal together, during which Sat-bayul and Dae-hun's father discuss Dae-hun. After a while, she's left alone to think. Hae-ja is still trying to interfere in Yeon-ju's relationship with Dae-hun and has met with Boon-hee to discuss the situation and class differences. Meanwhile, Sat-bayul and Dae-hun are dealing with the issue of a customer claiming to have eaten an expired sausage at their convenience store and demanding compensation. Sat-bayul confronts Dal-sik, who's in charge at this time, and requests that he pay the compensation. However, Dal-sik is able to resolve the situation by threatening the customer with the help of a disguised mob boss. Despite this, Dae-hun berates Sat-bayul and she leaves. There are also hints of a possible romantic connection developing between Dal-sik and Gum-bi, though they're unaware of each other's identities. Hae-ja is also interacting with Young-pil and has made him a proposition involving a driving test. Ji-wook is looking for Sat-bayul and eventually finds her on the roof. He then invites her over for dinner and shows her footage he's taken of Eun-bayul's big audition. Meanwhile, Young-pil is working as a chauffeur for Hae-ja and drives Yeon-ju to work. When they arrive at the building, Sung-ju forces Sat-bayul's boss to sever ties with her, preventing her from working. Dae-hun is also shown doing the honest thing by forcing an inspection at the convenience store. Sat-bayul leaves the store, and Yeon-ju breaks up with Dae-hun over dinner before Sung-ju picks her up and takes her home. Meanwhile, Sung-ju takes Yeon-ju out for drinks despite Dae-hun not being happy about it, and Sat-bayul finds out that Director Cho was behind her losing her job. Dae-hun also learns that Yeon-ju's mother is a major shareholder in GS25, which could cause tension between them. Boon-hee tries to protect Dae-hun from the embarrassment of his father working for Hae-ja, but Young-pil ends up causing more problems by turning on the sprinklers. Sat-bayul tries to cheer Dae-hun up by finding him and bringing him home, and it seems like she has had feelings for him for a long time. Dae-hun drunkenly pulls Sat-bayul in closer to him. The next morning, Dae-hun has a bad dream where he's under arrest, and Sat-bayul walks away from him, leaving him in this predicament. When Dae-hun wakes up, he sees that Sat-bayul is written on his mirror with the words, "I am Sat-bayul's." Sat-bayul heads to the convenience store to work, but when she arrives, she realizes the store's in a mess and starts to clean it up. When Ji-wook arrives, Sat-bayul hands him a box to hold and starts stacking shelves. Dae-hun arrives and Sat-bayul immediately starts paying attention to him, causing Ji-wook to leave, feeling rejected. Sat-bayul starts criticizing Dae-hun for their dwindling sales and encourages them to fix the store to improve their fortunes. As a result, Dae-hun promotes Sat-bayul to store manager. During their celebration lunch, Sat-bayul asks Dae-hun about his relationship with Yeon-ju and whether he broke up with her because of their own relationship. Dae-hun tells her that they did not break up because of them. Dal-sik arrives and sees them eating lunch together, feeling jealous. At home, Dae-hun makes a big deal about Boon-hee's insurance promotion, but she's not enthusiastic about it due to their own issues. Dae-soon arrives and causes tension, leading her to leave with packets of food. Why did Sat-bayul decide to work at the store? Dae-hun asks. It's revealed that Sat-bayul has wanted to work at the store for years and applied as soon as she saw the sign for part-timers. In the evening, Young-pil reveals the truth about Hae-ja to Dae-hun, causing Dae-hun to offer some heartfelt words to his mother and promise to be nicer from now on. Dal-sik continues to talk to his love interest on the phone, who's actually Gum-bi. They decide to meet in person, but when they do, they realize they're each other's love interest, and Gum-bi is horrified, walking away. Dae-hun gets Sat-bayul a new uniform to celebrate her becoming a regular employee at the store. Ji-wook decides to use the convenience store as the location for his event, and while Yeonju is not opposed to this, Seungju is. Satbayul thanks Sunju for getting her fired, which causes jealousy in Yeonju. When Ji-wook arrives, he wears the same uniform as Dae-hun and Satbayul and gets involved in helping with the event. Yeonju tells Dae-hun that she's not ready to date yet, and Dae-hun tells her that he'll wait for her. Dae-hun is shown applying makeup and preparing for a shoot at the store, while Ji-wook is a popular celebrity who attracts a lot of attention from fans. Satbayul and Dae-hun have a conversation about Dae-hun's wrinkles, and Satbayul later encourages Dae-hun to stand up for himself during the shoot. There's also mention of a young boy and an incident involving him earlier. Later, Satbayul makes the decision to pursue a career as manager at the convenience store rather than her dream of being a florist. Dae-hun and Ji-wook have a disagreement and eventually compromise by going into the store together. Satbayul takes the opportunity to have a nap, and in the morning, the movie crew takes Ji-wook away to dub a movie, leaving Satbayul to go to her friend Eun-bayul's showcase alone. Eun-bayul's performance becomes viral, and she's blackmailed by bullies for money, but Satbayul refuses to let her sister help, and Eun-bayul walks away. Yeonju learns about Dae-hun's past and apologizes for her actions. Dae-hun is unimpressed. Satbayul hugs Dae-hun as they seem to continue their on-again, off-again relationship. Satbayul is confronted by the three bullies who threaten to reveal embarrassing photos of her sister Eun-bayul if she doesn't pay them money. Satbayul is then beaten by the bullies and seeks help from Dae-hun, who patches her up. Yeonju tries to get back into Dae-hun's good graces by offering him a promotion at the head office, but Dae-hun is hesitant to accept. Meanwhile, Dal-sik and Gum-bi bond by dancing and drinking together. But when they wake up next to each other, they're unsure of what happened. The truth about Eun-bayul and Satbayul's identities is revealed through social media, along with information about Ji-wook. Satbayul confronts the bullies and hands over their phone to a reporter, revealing the truth. Ji-wook admits to the reporter that he wanted to be Satbayul's boyfriend, but she likes someone else. Satbayul brings Eun-bayul to Dae-hun's house, where Boon-hee cooks for them and advises Satbayul not to make the same mistakes again. Satbayul and Dae-hun have a heart-to-heart conversation, and Satbayul apologizes for all the trouble she caused. Dae-hun tells her that he wants to be with her, and they hug. Yeonju is trying to win Dae-hun back, but he's giving flowers to Satbayul and seems to be moving on. Meanwhile, Satbayul's sister, Eun-bayul, is being invited back into Fancy Girls, and Dae-hun is starting a new job at GS25. The situation becomes even more complicated when Yeonju shows up at Dae-hun's new job, and the two of them have a difficult time working together. On top of this, Young-pil has a mishap at the airport and is feeling down, but is then contacted by Jang-mi to meet up. Young-pil and Boon-hee are trying to navigate their relationship and Hae-ja's sudden reappearance, while Satbayul is dealing with issues at the store and trying to focus on her studies. Meanwhile, Dal-sik is struggling with writer's block and his feelings for Gum-bi, but they eventually come together to work on a new story. It's not clear from the information provided what the main conflict or theme of the story is, but it seems to involve relationships and personal growth. Dae-hun and Satbayul are working together at a store and have developed feelings for each other. Dae-hun has been overworking himself and ends up at the hospital as a result. Yeonju, a representative from the company that owns the store, wants to shut down the store and make it company-run, which Dae-hun strongly opposes. Dae-hun decides to resign from his position as a consultant and take back ownership of the store, with Satbayul being promoted to assistant manager. However, Yeonju plans to get Satbayul fired. Dae-hun confesses his feelings to Satbayul and gives her red tulips, which have a special meaning to him. Satbayul and Dae-hun seem to have some kind of relationship, but it's unclear what it is or what Dae-hun's proposition is. Jang-mi is looking for Boon-hee, but Young-pil has not seen her in 40 years. Young-pil's revelation about the complicated love triangle. Satbayul sees her son being attentive towards Boon-hee and realizes how special he is, but it's not clear what their relationship is or how it fits into the larger picture. Meanwhile, Dae-hun is working with Boon-hee on a new contract, but Yeonju is trying to buy back into the relationship with an expensive present. Satbayul learns that the police have caught someone from a real estate firm and that she and the other 2 residents will be able to get their deposits back. Eventually, Gumbi and Dalsik decide to become an official couple. Dae-hun arrives to clean the shop before the company officially takes over. Jang-mi gives a letter to Yong-pil that she's written before leaving for Busan. Boon-hee and Jang-mi come face to face, but Boon-hee struggles to hold back tears and walks away. Boon-hee then becomes drunk and calls Satbayul by Yeonju's name before passing out. Dae-hun has rejected Yeonju's advances and is at odds with Boon-hee over his love life. Meanwhile, Satbayul is trying to stay calm amid the changes happening at the store and has a heart-to-heart conversation with Boon-hee before leaving in the middle of the night. Why Satbayul is leaving or where she's going, but it seems to be a sudden and unexpected departure. Satbayul has left Dae-hun and gone to work on a farm, potentially to give them some space. Dae-hun is concerned and tries to get information from the police, but is unsuccessful. Meanwhile, Satbayul is at the farm and has a confrontation with some workers. Dalsik and Gumbi also visit the farm, where Dalsik's father encourages Gumbi to find a new bachelor. After driving away together, Dalsik spotted Satbayul working and went inside to see what he was doing. She works on his farm. Dalsik inevitably calls Dae-hun to inform him of the news. As he runs over and scolds Satbayul, he assures her that this isn't the end. For him, it's just the beginning. When the gang from earlier returns, they soon run into trouble. The threat is thwarted by Satbayul and Dae-hun taking turns. After this, they sit and drink together. Dae-hun admits that he knew about the Taekwondo encounter in the past. It's something Satbayul's been thinking about for a while, and hearing this makes her smile. Additionally, he reminds her that he'll be waiting for her at her new address. The farm offers Satbayul a full-time position as he leaves. Dae-hun has come to realize that his true passions and values lie in running the convenience store and being with Satbayul, rather than pursuing success and wealth. Similarly, Satbayul has achieved her goal of earning her GED and is able to move forward with her future plans. The result is that everything is finally cleared up, bringing her out of hiding. Boon-hee apologizes for the mishap earlier. A message for part-time help is posted outside the convenience store, so she hurries back. Until he grabbed her cheeks, Dae-hun thought she was a hallucination because he was sleep-deprived. He tells her he loves her and they share a hug. Gumbi and Dalsik see them together as they proceed and decide to start a new webcomic called Backstreet Rookie. In the very last second, Dae-hun and Satbayul almost kiss. The end. Thank you for watching, and please join Line Recaps. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications and leave a like to help the channel out.